The MotoGP paddock is still reeling from the shocking confirmation that Marquez will miss the remainder of the 2025 season, including the crucial post-race Valencia test following his injury at Bulega. But according to former World Superbike champion and TNT sports analyst Neil Hodgson, the true consequence of Marquez's absence may only be felt next year when Ducati begins its 2026 campaign. Mark will obviously be devastated, Hodgson begins. Missing races is one thing, but not being able to take part in the end-of-season test could have huge implications. That test isn't just about mileage, it's where Ducati locks in the foundation for next year's bike. Missing that means starting 2026 already one step behind.
Welcome to GP Time. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates.
For Ducati Lenovo, the Valencia test represents far more than a postseason shakedown. It is effectively the first look at the 2026 Desmosedici GP machine, a prototype embodying months of technical evolution, aerodynamic refinements, and new electronics data. Marquez's feedback would have been invaluable, Hodgson notes. He's one of the best in the world at identifying how to fine-tune a bike's character. Without his direct input, Ducati's engineers will have to rely on Pecco Bagnaia and Enea Bastianini, but Pecco's struggling with his own form, and Enea's seat isn't even guaranteed for next year. The absence means Marquez will not get his first taste of Ducati's 2026 package until February, when pre-season testing resumes just 3 weeks before the opening race. By that point, it's too late to change the DNA of the bike, Hodgson warns. He'll be able to adjust setup but not direction. For a rider who's trying to integrate fully into a factory project, that's massive. Hodgson believes that Marquez's enforced layoff could make the 2026 MotoGP season more unpredictable than expected. Marqu's been so dominant that many assumed next year would be another Ducati clean sweep, but missing this phase could level the playing field, giving Aprilia, KTM, and maybe even Yamaha a shot at catching up. It might just open the door to a real fight for the title. While Marquez faces a frustrating off, Francesco Pecco Bagnaia continues to battle inconsistency at the tail end of 2025. Despite flashes of speed in Sepang, the Italian again found himself out of the top 10 in FP3, forcing him into the perilous Q1 session. He looked better this morning, Hodgson observed. He was smoother, more confident, and his race pace looked top 5. But then something went wrong again. It's just not clicking, and nobody really knows why. Bagnaia's recent slump has puzzled fans and insiders alike. Once renowned for his precision and calmness under pressure, the factory Ducati rider has been visibly frustrated and, well, uncharacteristically erratic in recent rounds. Fundamentally, it's still hard to work out what's happening. Either the team doesn't fully understand the problem, or they're keeping it to themselves. You can see Pecco fighting the bike. It's not flowing like it used to. Some paddock whispers suggest ongoing tire temperature issues or difficulty adapting to the latest electronics updates from Bologna. Others speculate that the psychological pressure of Marquez's arrival at Ducati has unsettled the Italian's confidence. Whatever the cause, Hodgson believes Bagnaia's immediate goal should be regaining composure rather than chasing results. He just needs one clean weekend, no mistakes, no crashes, to reset mentally. Once he does that, the speed will come back. But right now he looks like a rider searching for himself. Beyond MotoGP, Hodgson also reflected on a thrilling conclusion to the World Superbike Championship, where Nicolo Bulega and Toprak Razgatlioglu delivered one of the most dramatic title deciders in recent memory. During the sprint race, Bulega made contact with Toprak, sending the Turkish superstar to the ground and igniting controversy across the paddock. However, Hodgson defended the young Italian's intentions. "I genuinely don't believe Bulega did it intentionally," Hodgson insists. "He's not a dirty rider. It was just one of those racing moments, a small gap, a big risk, and unfortunately it didn't work out." The incident intensified the stakes heading into the final race, where Toprak responded with a stunning comeback ride to clinch the title, solidifying his status as one of the sport's modern greats. "Toprak was unbelievable," Hodgson says with admiration. "He didn't panic, didn't seek revenge, he just rode like a champion. He wasn't on the best bike, but he was the best rider. That was the difference." Speculation is growing that Bulega could make the jump to MotoGP in 2026, potentially joining one of Ducati's satellite teams. Yet, I believe the Italian may actually choose to stay put. He might pass up MotoGP for now. He's young, fast, and finally comfortable in superbikes. Jumping to MotoGP too soon can ruin momentum. Just look at some of the young riders who've struggled to adapt. Another year fighting for titles could do him more good. As MotoGP prepares to close its 2025 chapter, the headlines are already shifting toward 2026, a year that could, really redefine the balance of power in the premier class. With Marquez sidelined, Bagnaia searching for answers, and new stars like Bulega rising through the ranks, I honestly believe the coming season could be the most unpredictable in years. That's what makes MotoGP so special. Nothing is guaranteed. One injury, one mistake, one missed test, it can change everything. 2026 might just be the year when the unexpected happens. Bulega, meanwhile, has a test coming up with the MotoGP bike for Ducati in Jerez. As far as I'm aware, the decision is his. If he likes the bike, if he gels with it, then he can race for them in the last 2 weeks in MotoGP. If he doesn't fancy it and it doesn't feel right, with his contract in 2026, he can get 5 tests on the MotoGP bike, so he basically knows he has 5 guaranteed chances to test. If it's good, then it'll put him in a position where Ducati might look to offer him the chance to ride for one of their satellite teams for MotoGP. Everyone wants to be a MotoGP rider. He won't want to stay in superbikes for the rest of his life. He's young enough to move back to MotoGP, but he can't force it if things don't feel right this season. You only have one opportunity to make the first impression. Let's say he tries it and the tires feel weird, and he can't get on with it. He'll think to himself, "Oh my God, I've got to race next weekend in the Lion's Den against the best riders in the world. If I qualify last and finish last, it'll be embarrassing." To come from a Superbikes World Championship to then finish last, it could wipe out everything you'd ever built. If he doesn't feel right with the bike, I'd urge him to just wait. There's no rush. For the race in Malaysia this weekend, usually we have a bit of an idea after the first day's action, but right now, we're none the wiser. It might even be more difficult to work out having seen some of the riders. Alex Marquez is off the pace and has had 2 crashes already. The in-form Marco Bezzecchi can't match his previous speed of the last 2 weekends. Fermin Aldeguer has looked fast, but he's got to get out of Q1 against some big names. That could be a struggle. The Hondas look quite fast, as does Fabio Di Giannantonio, but this weekend looks so hard to call. It will be fascinating to watch it unfold.